When we look at addiction as an adaptive intelligence, it sounds odd to the mind, to the intellectual mind that's understood and learned what intelligence means from a knowledge point of view. But what we're talking about biological safety, intelligence. The body is wired up to find safety. That's how it works. That's the biological mechanism. And so when our internal world, all our systems are interconnected, right? Our psychological system, our somatic system, our biological, our physiological system. When our internal world is full of dis-ease, discomfort, contraction, constriction, because of the reflection in the world that we're faced with, the adversity, for some people, abuse, rape, violence on the extreme end, and for others, when we talk about trauma, we could be talking about the experience of not being seen as a child, the experience of not being wanted or known. All those things are some level of adversity that the body then reacts and adapts to. So that's when we're looking to see that addiction is an intelligent response, a way of finding ease and comfort from internal dis-ease. When we've been faced with this either extreme or repetitive level of adversity, perhaps we were beaten constantly, perhaps we were shamed constantly. There's a whole list of things from the potential of trauma. Then we learn to survive, we learn to adapt, we learn to find signs of safety, like hypervigilance, for example, is a response to trauma. If we had to assess our environment for safety as children, we become hypervigilant. We listen to tones, sounds of voices, pitches of voices, levels of volume of voices, to try and hear, is it safe? Is it safe in the room? And we learn that as children, but it stays with us. And then our internal world in reflection to our external world is intense. We're having an intense internal experience. Relationships, threats, jobs, family fallout, feuds, difficulties, financial difficulties, people asking for money. Addiction is an obvious way of finding respite from our internal world, because as soon as we pick up something and that internal world goes quiet for a moment, it's like, yes, freedom for myself for a moment. So of course we want to do that more, because we want freedom from ourselves. We want to feel free. We want to feel at peace, at ease. So if we don't face ourselves, what happens is we live life with a dysregulated system. So we're constantly contracting, constricting, reacting, being triggered by life, by stimulus, by people, by relationships, particularly where there's some form of threat. So our inability to regulate, to self-regulate, to know ourselves, then these triggers that happen beneath the conscious mind surface, they're just often reactions of the somatic, of the body. They rule our life. The way I say it is I use a term that says they're driving the bus, like they're in charge. So these reactions and contractions that happen of the nervous system in the body are really controlling our life without even us knowing it. Well, there's nothing we can do about it with willpower. Addiction is really trying to solve the dis-ease within, the internal conflict within self, the nervous system activation and regulation, the constant, whether you're in a sympathetic state, you're constantly activated, ready for a fight or flight, or whether you're in a dorsal vagal state where you're collapsed and you've given up and you feel hopeless. It's like the internal experiences of dis-ease. So the addiction is really just an attempt to escape those and to find peace and comfort. People often talk about willpower. What about willpower? Surely you can know better. The mind does not have the capacity to override our internal system. When we're in an activated nervous system state, the access to rational thinking, the prefrontal cortex of the brain, actually goes offline and shifts towards the amygdala, the survival brain, so to speak. So we're in an activated state. We don't have access to rational thinking. We don't have access to making wise choices or decisions. So the body's just in that mode, so to speak. So we've really lost access to all ability to have rational rhyme or reason.